Sahana bhavatu sahanau bhunaktu saha viryam karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Positive religion means understanding the purpose of religion and undertaking its various parts for the purpose of that purpose. When we do the right things for the right reason, that is really positive living. So, positive religion means you're doing the right things, means you're taking the actions required to reach there, and your intention is to reach there. Now, what happens is sometimes you're not able to understand. There are two things involved. There is what I'm doing, and there is why I'm doing. So we may try to do the what very well and miss the why, or want have the why clearly but miss the what. So in no achievement can you miss either. Even if it's the most simple thing of just going somewhere, just driving your car and going somewhere. You have to drive the car properly. Okay, that's your right action. And you have to remember where you're going. Both these aspects have to be well modulated, well executed. Otherwise, we're in trouble. So, in the spiritual path, you already know why we are doing it is to realize the self. What we are doing is Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga in what manner?
Proper manner.
Okay,
as per your mental temperament,
right.
As per your constitution.
Right, correct. But that's correct. But I may be 20% intellectual, so I did 20% of Jnana Yoga. I'm 70% emotional, so I did 70% Bhakti Yoga. And I'm 10% active, so I did 10% Karma Yoga. And I did this today. But I didn't do this tomorrow. I didn't do this yesterday. Right? So I have to do the 3 yogas in what manner?
Consistent manner.
Consistent.
Disciplined manner. Every part of it has to be correct. How much I do, when I do, all the execution of it. Suppose I want to make $1 million. I cannot go to office 1 day a week. I have to do this day after day, every day. If I want to do well in my exams, I cannot study once a month. Oh, I will study 24 hours today. You can't do that. Day after day, every day. That's how it's done. And that's how the spiritual path is followed. Day after day, every day, with only one thought in mind. I want to realize the self. Now, as you know, many of us find it difficult to aspire for a goal like that. There is no problem in that. You can fix your goal. But whatever your goal is, day after day, every day, just going at it. That is how Maji cut through a mountain. Remember Maji? Cut through a mountain. Day after day, every single day. So we have to get why we're doing it and what we're doing correct. Why is very clear for realization or for your ideal or for your goal, whichever one you want. Whatever inspires you. Let's not get into a discussion of what should be my goal. Whatever is inspiring to you is your goal. That's it. Now, day after day, every day. If for spiritual development, karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, hatha yoga, day after day, every day. Put your head down and do it. Don't raise your head. When you raise your head, what happens? You start saying, oh, how far have I got? What are all the other people doing? They are doing less karma. I'm doing more karma. Put your head down and do it. Who's doing what? How far have I got? Oh, I'm so useless. Oh, I'm so great. Put your head down and do it. Don't look here and there. Where have I got? Where have others got? Put your head down and do it. And commit yourself to decades of it. This is not for next week. This is for decades. You will commit your lifetime to it. Then you're on the path. Otherwise, you're on, what should I say, package tour. A package tour for spiritual development. अच्छा 15 दिन के लिए देखते हैं क्या होता है वहां पे. This is not tourists. This is dedication. When you do all of this, it becomes positive relation. We've discussed a lot on the what we have to do, so we don't need to get into that. We need to remember where we are going and how we are going. What am I trying to achieve? What am I doing to achieve it? On a daily basis for the next few decades, probably for the rest of my life. That's the call you have to take, no? Are you in or out? Or are you testing it out? What are you doing? People will be here for 25 years and they're still testing ki ye correct hai ki nahi correct hai. What will happen? You just have wasted your time. Commit in or out. And if you say, no, I don't know, I want to test it, then commit, I will test it for the next 6 months. And at the end of 6 months, I'm going to decide in or out. Not like, oh, I don't know, maybe, maybe, in or out. Actually, I'm very frightened to say this next time, nobody will be in the class. Okay, we decided out. Okay, fine. Better that few of us decide and we go with it. You will find a million obstacles. Nothing in this world is easy. But having done it, which one are you going to be the most satisfied about is a question you have to ask yourself.
Hariom Janki ji,
Yeah,
can I
yeah.
have a question? Yes, we do years, we have 2 years, but I know there should be some positive impact, right? I know head down and results, I understand, but there should be some positive impact with regard to this. So, uh, what is your viewpoint? I know we should not get sidetracked and get
What is the
disappointed, but how do we view it?
I mean, I don't know how to explain that. Maybe the story from the Ramayana is the best. Sita was very happy in the forest. She was very happy in the courts of Ayodhya. Means in all that wealth and prosperity and the queen, very happy. And then she was banished to the forest, and there also she was very happy. She was with her Rama. They enjoyed the lovely life in the forest, happy both ways, until she spotted a golden deer. Golden deer means something very attractive, and deer is something that's fast, moves very fast, fleeting. So it represents the fleeting sense objects of this world. So as long as her attention was on Rama, she was happy anywhere. When it moved to the sense object, all her trouble started. She got kidnapped by the 10-headed demon Ravana, and she was whisked away to Lankanagri, the land of indulgences. That everything was gold and everything was like super enjoyment over there. People were only involved in enjoyment over there. But she realizes that there's something wrong and refuses to enter the great palace of Ravana and stays outside in the Ashoka Vanam. In the Ashoka Vanam, Shoka, sorrow, Ashoka, she's not in sorrow because she hasn't entered that palace. But she's in that no man's land. She's sitting in some strange place. She doesn't know where is Rama. She is not enjoying the world. She has no Rama coming to her. She doesn't know whether Rama knows where she is. She's in that mental state of, I don't know what's going on here. Until one day, while she sits in that forest and does her tapas, she puts her head down and just does her tapas. Then one day, Hanuman lands on that island, and with him has come Rama's ring. So he's hunting all over, and then he sees this lady sitting in this Ashoka Vanam doing her, just quietly sitting, not like the other Rakshasas and all who are busy indulging. And he hears the conversation and realizes this is Sita Ma. So he goes to Sita, and he goes to that tree above her where she's sitting, and then he drops that golden ring of Rama. And when she receives that golden ring, she knows now that hope is at hand. Somebody knows where she is, and Rama is going to come and get her. They've identified where she is, right? This is Rama's ring. This is the turning point of sadhana, where you do put your head down, you do your tapas, and then something will happen that will give you so much confidence in the path that you are just going to go full steam ahead. That there is a turning point, as it were, where you are now confident you're on the right track. So, what is it that will happen? Don't know. But something will be Rama's ring, that ring of confidence that comes to us, that now I'm on the right track. You just know it, and you get all the advantages of knowing it. You are a more satisfied person. It's not like your problems have disappeared. Remember, she's still in Ravana's, in Ashokavana. But now she knows she's going to get somewhere. So that's the real turning point. And then once this happens, eventually Rama comes, the battle is won, and this whole thing happens. So put your head down, do your tapas. Don't.
And there'll be an inflection point.
There will be something. The ring of confidence somehow will come to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you. Anyway.
So don't worry it's no point saying what will happen, what will not happen. Nobody can predict what will happen on your spiritual path. Nobody, you don't know, nobody knows. Because remember, when you're on the spiritual path, you're doing something very different, very unusual. You're doing what not 1% of humanity is interested in doing. So, how that unfolds for each person is a very, very individualistic thing. But this, this you get that I'm on the right track and I have to go further. That what will that event be? What will that be that will give you that confidence? Nobody knows. But it will be there. So just put your head down, set yourself whatever discipline you wish to do, and put your head down and do it. Don't say, I love spiritual things, don't do all this nonsense. Get down to doing the sadhana. Saying good things about the spiritual path is just a instant pleasure. Nothing more than that. Put your head down and do it. All of us, we all have to just put our heads down and do it. Right? So we know where we are going, we know what we have to do. Now we have to just do it. And if we do, that's positive religion. Right? So much, so far, so good. Who will read the next paragraph?
I can read. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Similarly, you would bring out the chaste music of life if you adopt this classical method of living. Let your subtle intellect be attuned to the Supreme Self while your body, mind, and gross intellect are engaged in the activities. Fix your concentration on the unchanging, pure consciousness while you go through your changing perceptions, emotions, and thoughts. That is classical living. It brings out the melody, harmony in life. So it says the method of right living and positive religion is do the activities in the world, but be constantly attuned to self.
Right. And it's not just like you're doing parayan, very good. It's not just that you're doing parayan. It is that you are transacting with everything from that perspective. You're thinking about it in terms of, okay, now my spouse is saying rude to me. Something rude to me. What action do I take in this situation that will be most conducive for my development? We're thinking about it each time. And that is the Dharma Yuddha. Dharma means your own nature, your inherent nature, that which makes you yourself. Now, the Yuddha which you do to find that within yourself is the Dharma Yuddha. If you fight for your religion, that may or may not be Dharma Yuddha. Not necessarily Dharma. When Shivaji fights for his kingdom, for his country, and he does it as an act of service which takes him to the self, it becomes a dharma. When I talk to my husband in such a way that it takes me to the self, it's my dharma. When I deal with my child in such a way that it takes me to the self, it's my dharma. The yuddha is not really with the outside world, but it's the battle, if you wish to call it that, with your own mind. Because your mind is always wanting to go in the opposite direction. And the opposite direction is known as
World.
okay, you could say that. Also known as
Birth.
sorry,
Dharma.
I can't hear you.
She said
Birth.
Adhar.
Dharma. Birth.
Swadharma. Paradharma. Okay.
Birth.
You can say that. What else?
It's Boga.
Yes. What else?
Preya Marga.
Prayama. Very good. What else?
Self and non-self.
Okay. You can say other direction is non-self. Okay, you can say that. But the path away is the path of comfort.
Could you please repeat, Janaki ji?
The path away is the path of comfort.
Comfort. Okay.
Why are we not all realized souls? Because we are falling for comfort. It's so much easier, right? If I am getting irritated with my child, it's so much easier to shout at my child than to stop and think, what is the appropriate action? If I feel like sleeping in the morning, it's so much easier to sleep than to think, what is the appropriate action? So classical living means that you are clear about your goal in such a way that every action that you're taking, you're choosing or not, or rejecting that action based on that view. That's what we have to get to. Today, we're choosing or not choosing based on
Comfort.
Comforts.
comfort. How comfortable is it? If I tell you, let us do an offline class, the first thought that will come in everybody's mind is
Comfort.
comfort. How comfortable is it? It's next to my house. Oh, great, it's next to my house. I'm going. It's far away from my house. No, it is too much trouble. Right? That's the only thing that comes to mind. It never comes to mind that, is this going to help me realize the self? Nothing. If we say, okay, let's do a retreat on our plot of land, the first question that everybody will say is, वहां के bathrooms कैसे हैं? Isn't it? We are concerned with everything except what we should be concerned with. Now, I'm not suggesting that we should go out in the forest to go to the washroom or something. Of course, it should be done well, and we are doing Vedanta, so everything of it must be beautifully done. But the question that comes in my mind when I hear something, what is that question? That's what tells me what I'm really interested in. What's the question? What will my mummy say? If that's your question, what will my friends say? Will I make money out of this? What's the question that comes into your mind the most first time you hear any idea? Will tell you what it is that you really want. And that's the Dharma Yuddha. That's what you're battling, because you're placing that over the self. Right? So what is classical living? You're fixed on where you want to go, and you're going to pay the price. Remember that even if you don't fix where you want to go, you're still going to pay the price. Paying the price is part of the human condition. Even if you take a single breath from this moment on, you're going to pay the price. What's the price? One single breath you take. What's the price you'll pay?
Life.
That's right. One breath you take, you're closer to the grave. So don't say that, nah, it's too much. I don't want to pay any price and all. You are paying the price for each breath you're taking. Because every time you've taken a breath, you've taken one step closer to the grave. That's what there's a Sanskrit verse that says, in Niti Shatkam, he says, Parivartino Jagataha, in this world of change, Mrita ko na jayate. Who doesn't die in this world? But he is born. Who, by whose birth the Vamsh is, what should I say? How do you translate that? The Vamsh is known. In the sense, you are a person of good repute. Now, this concept of good repute has gone from today's world. That you are well known for being a good person. Nowadays, this is not there. A good reputation, nothing. Reputation is all that's we are interested in. If you can say the most absurd things because of which your video is going to go viral, you will say these because you're interested in being viral, not in good repute. That whole concept of to be a citizen of good standing, all this various concepts really don't exist anymore. To be a respect-worthy person. Have you ever heard of this? Nowadays, the only question is, are you viral or are you not viral? No matter what absurdity has made you viral. So, he is born because of whom his Vamsh, that means everybody around him gets a good name. That person is really born. Otherwise, everybody is going to die. But the question is not whether we're going to die. The question is, are we born? We're not born. We're not born till the day we have a specific goal to reach out to. Just not born till that day. Till that day, we are like in the womb, sitting in security, thinking that, oh, now I'm here, I'm safe. No, you're not. You're not safe wherever you are. But you will be safe if you know where you're going in life. You'll be more safe at least. Right? This is known as classical living. Okay, who will read the next paragraph? Prashant, will you read the next paragraph?
Hariom, ma'am, I can read. Or
1 second. Let's just check with Prashant whether he's reading. Next one you read.
Shall I read now?
Please do.
Adopting the proper spiritual discipline, you command peace and happiness. Apportion the spiritual courses according to your personal requirement. Make sure the quantum is not too much or too little. The proportion of the exercises is as important as the dosage of medicine is to cure a disease. The medicine prescribed may be proper, but it will not cure the disease if the dosage is improper. As you progress in your self-development, pitch up higher ideals, self-realization being the ultimate. Continuing your spiritual practices, thus in accordance with your nature and capacity, your desires should drop off gradually. When the mind is freed from desires, it becomes balanced, prepare for meditation. You can then apply your mind to single-pointed meditation. With sustained meditation, you shall attain enlightenment. This speaks about the spiritual discipline. It starts from how you reduce the burden of desires and you reach where there are very few desires and where you can adopt meditation and ultimately reach enlightenment.
Yes, correct. One point you have missed.
Uh,
One word. Just say one word so I know you've got it.
Dosage.
Excellent. Very good. So you have to do the proper spiritual discipline with the right dosage. Suppose you do your morning studies once a year. Is it going to help you? So, right dosage. How much you're doing is also very important. Some people say, I want to realize the self. I am going to do 24 hours of spiritual sadhana. You will end up in the mental asylum. Please don't do all this. Just because you think that, oh, this is a very good antibiotic, it's going to cure me. The doctor has given me a 7 days program of antibiotics. Can you have all those pills in one day? Oh, in 7 days he's going to take, I'll have them all today. Can you do something like that? You have to go in the prescribed format only. There was a Zen master. Excuse me. A student approached a Zen master, and the Zen master and told the Zen master, I want enlightenment. I want moksha. Tell me, how do I find this ultimate truth? And how long will it take me to find it? So the Zen master looked at him and said, 10 years. To which the Zen master, to which the student, he said 10 years. Master said it'll take you 10 years. So then the student said, what if I double my efforts and I work day and night? So the master said, 20 years. Because you can't do it like that. How can you do it like that? Whatever takes a certain amount of time takes that time. Can you feed your child more and make him a teenager by the time he's 5 years old? You can't do that. You can't say, no, eat more, then you'll grow up quickly. All these mothers keep telling their children, what is grow up quickly? The sun has to go around, the earth has to go around the sun that many times before this child is going to grow up, whatever food you give. Right? So dosage is very important. You cannot do too much, you cannot do too little. Therefore, if you remember in the Bhagavad Gita, remember anything in the Bhagavad Gita?
Madhyama,
What is
the
the
middle path.
Okay, tell me which chapter at least, if not worse, then at least which chapter? Please, you all are in 14 now, so you have to know which chapter. At least this much you will know that it has to be less than 14.
Is it 6?
Very
Chapter
good.
6.
Now tell me, what is it? Very good, excellent.
It speaks about, I don't know the verse, but so it speaks about the path of realizing. So it speaks about being a yogi and doing all the practices in moderation so that you can get rid of your desires and sit on the seat of meditation.
Correct. So yoga is not for him who eats too much or eats too little. Not for him who sleeps too much or sleeps too little. So you have to do the right thing to the right amount. You're just explaining this more and more. It's all actually commonsensical. But sometimes we don't get it. So he's explaining. Dosage is very important. And when you get everything correct, you get the goal right, you get the action right, you get the dosage right, what will happen to you?
Ready for meditation.
You will be in deep peace. As a lamp in a windless place does not move, na ingate. As the lamp in the windless place does not flicker, so too your peace will never flicker. Because you've paid the price. So when you say you're ready for meditation, what does it mean? What is your experience of this being ready for meditation? There's a deep calm that is with you at all times. Not sometimes, but all times. No matter what is going on, so many things are going on. Right? Life is nothing but a drama. Full-fledged drama, full-fledged soap opera. Every day some nakra is taking place. Every time some nakra takes place, if you start jumping up and down, I mean, you may have to show that you're jumping up and down. Okay, that's a different thing. You be strict. Say, how dare this happen? Blah, blah, whatever you want, you do. But that inner sense of calm is not affected. After you have fired somebody, you can go to your bed, put your head on the pillow, and you're out like a light. Or if you've enjoyed with somebody, You can put your head on the pillow and you're out like a light. Nothing has touched that inner core. Not because you're an indifferent and superficial person, because that's the other thing people understand, that you're very superficial. You're not superficial. It's just that the calmness within you doesn't move. Even if you are firing people, even if you're enjoying with people, even if you're working very hard, whatever happens. So, how do you know you're ready for meditation? The deep calmness within, and unaffected grace in the happenings of this world.
Hariom Janki, one question. This is very important. See, you've been doing sadhana for some time, but you have a violent reaction, right? Does that mean it's just knowledge and not translated into wisdom going back? Or I think Swamiji put in the previous chapter that you are good till you can handle. After that, it goes all bad. A capability of handling. So why does even after doing sadhana we have a violent reaction? Ideally, it should not be there, right? So that's
There is no such ideally it should not be there. Think of it like it's a bank account. A bank account has gone into the red. Okay? Now you want to, if you want another overdraft, if you're deeply in the red, you cannot get it. Or alternatively, you have 1,000 rupees in your bank account, but you want to withdraw a lakh. You can't do it, right? So, what resilience you have within yourself is a matter of what you have created so far. So, let us say that you have been in deficit when you started your spiritual sadhana. You had zero resilience. Now, after 10 years, you have some resilience. Now, if you meet a situation that requires more than this, as much as you have collected, you won't have it. Now, Jayashree is planting 1,000 trees on the plot. She has, I don't know if you know, we struck water on the plot, so everybody was dancing and cheering. However, there's a certain amount of water available. If the water available is less than the trees, what will happen?
a kind of drought or sorry.
The trees will
Drought.
dry. How many trees will dry? Depends on how much less is available. If you had only for 500 trees and you planted 1,000, 500 are going to die. Right? So you can't say, oh, then that water was useless. No, that water saved those first 500. No. So you can't say, oh, then what was the money in the bank? When I wanted it, it wasn't enough. But so far you have met your expenses, isn't it? So it's a balance. It's a ratio. It's as much as you have earned, that much you can spend. So is the sadhana useless? No, because you have been spending based on it so far. But now this is bigger than what you have earned, so you can't do it.
Okay.
If I want to buy a TV and I have 50,000 in my bank account, but that TV is 60,000. So then what will I do? And say, oh, what was the use of my earning? I can't buy a TV. But you have been buying your food, your drink, paying your rent, all from whatever you're earning only, no?
Okay, understood, ma'am. So it's you have to keep doing it. That's it, right?
Keep doing.
And try to. But this you can't test it, right? But then when the test happens, only then you will know whether you're successful or not, right?
Not really. That's what I'm saying. That
Hmm.
what you're capable of doing has come and gone and you haven't even realized it. You had 50,000 rupees in your bank account and all your expenses were in hundreds or few thousands.
Mhm.
You didn't even think about it. But for somebody
Okay.
else who had only 2,000 in his bank account, even 100 rupees he will start worrying about.
Hmm.
So it's not a matter of testing it. It's a matter of you can only spend what you have earned.
Hmm. Understood, Janki. Understood.
Right. Who will read the last paragraph? Yeah. Ganesh, you are going to read it, no?
Yes, I'll do that. Is this the only one?
Yes, it's all there is.
It's already summarized. In the geometrical center of the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna declares this impeccable truth in verse 22 of chapter 11. To those who are attuned to
Nine.
9, okay. Okay, sorry. To those who are attuned to the self with constant and unswerving focus, spiritual progress and enlightenment is assured. So I have to explain Lord Krishna stuff. to
It's very, not really very much, but okay, summarize. Okay.
right, those who are focused on the self, who have a goal on the self, I think the goal is, if I have to put it in word, the goal is important. And if you have a goal, spiritual progress and enlightenment is assured. So I can look at it that way.
Yeah, but why should you say if you have a goal? If you are attuned to the self, if self is your goal, spiritual progress and enlightenment is assured.
So all activities would be on that. This is tough.
Of course. Hello, you're trying to achieve the biggest thing a human being can
True.
achieve. How did you expect it to be simple?
True.
So what is he basically just saying, giving the Shastric authority for making the statement. He doesn't do that a lot because otherwise the whole book will be only quotations. But here he's telling us, Krishna himself. Anyone knows which is the verse? Sanskrit verse? Ashya?
Sanskrit verse? Janki, you are asking Sanskrit verse? Ananya chinto yantoma jana paryupasade tesha nitya abhiyuktam yogakshemam vaham.
Yes, very good. Are you reading it or did you know it?
By memory.
Okay, very good. Ananyas chintayanto. Ananya chinta. Anya, other. Ananya, no other. No other thought. If you can have that. Like Hanuman. After the war, he was given a precious necklace. So he put it to his ears. It didn't say Ram Ram. He chucked it. Meaning, if it's not Ram, I am not interested. I'm just not interested. Whatever in the world it may be. That kind of ananya chinta. Ye jana parupasate. Those people who worship. Worship means act. What is the use of saying Ram Ram when no action is taking place? If you have the goal and you have the appropriate actions, self-realization is assured. Meera. What about yogis who do full-time spiritual practices like Mirabai till she realized the self? Or have I misunderstood the meaning in terms of proportion? What do you mean now, Meera? Now this is Meera the student, not Mirabai the full-time yogi. What do you mean, Meera? Mirabai did her sadhana. She had her guru taught her things, whatever. She did her karma yoga. What was her karma yoga?
Singing?
Yeah, spreading the love of Krishna, right? She went all over the world spreading his message, as it were.
No, what I was confused is she was into bhakti yoga totally. So you can do
No, she has to do to her proportion.
that's what I was.
She had a guru, right? A guru taught her, no? So that's jnana yoga. And then she went around preaching the name of the Lord. That's her karma yoga.
Okay, so that's what I was just confused about karma, bhakti, and jnana, whether, what sort of proportion. It depends on your swadharma as well.
Yes, everybody will have to do all three.
Okay, but the larger proportion will depend on what you are
Yeah.
good at doing.
If you have a larger proportion, if somebody is 33, 1/3, 33, 1/3, 33, 1/3, then they will have to do all equally. Depends on the individual.
Okay, I was just confused on that. Thank you, Nikki.
This path is very individualistic. It is in a strange way a collective path for all of us, and it's also a very individualistic path because it will not unfold to us in our way, in our time. You can't fast forward anything, and each person will have to do it differently. But in the earlier years, of course, generally speaking, karma will be predominant because the bulk of desires has to be reduced. And as it reduces, then you can get more into bhakti or more into jnana. If the bulk of desires is very high and you just concentrate on bhakti or jnana, you'll be on the wrong track. In the sense, it will be a mental entertainment. That's why you find people who are doing jnana, they want to have so many other things, not focused on what they're doing. Or in bhakti, then they will spend hours and hours singing. तो काम कौन करेगा? नहीं, मैं तो सिर्फ भगवान के बारे में सोचूंगा. They're on the sort of wrong thing. Okay, now Vedanta wisdom. Who is that? Omkar?
Yes, Janji, I'm trying to switch on my video once. So because we are on Mirabai, and we are also studying moderation, it seems to me that Mirabai was the exact opposite of moderation. I mean, she was so much into Krishna that stories say that she was drawing the anger and the ire of the royal family because she would not discharge her duties of the queen. So how does one explain that?
We didn't talk about moderation in the sense that you are using the term. Moderation means moderating it to your personality. Non-moderation as in being a moderate person. Who is to determine what is moderate for another human being? We cannot and should not tell people what is moderate or not moderate. Whatever their intellect or their personality determines is the right proportion for them, it is. Suppose a person is, will you look at Ramana Maharishi and say, you are no good, you're not a moderate person, you're not speaking enough? Can you say that? Can you look at Vivekananda and say, you're not a moderate person, you're going all over the world talking too much? This is not for us to determine. This is for the individual to determine what is moderate for them. Moderate means what is most suitable for their personality. But the concept should be understood, right? I was making this up, okay? So suppose Brahman is here, all right? Now you have come out of Brahman. You have become Omkar. Now the process by which Omkar has come about, okay? This is the process Omkar took. So this is the process he will do back. If you have developed too many intellectual vasanas, or not too many intellectual vasanas, those will have to be removed. Remember, your sadhana is to remove the damage that you have done. So if you've done physical, then you will do karma yoga. If you've done mental, then you'll do bhakti yoga. If you've done intellectual, then you'll do jnana yoga. So you're removing something, you're not adding something. So it's not like you have a choice. You have to erase what you created, right? So if you created physical desires, this is your eraser. If you've created emotional desires, this is your eraser. If you've created intellectual desires, this is your eraser. Once you get that, you understand there's no such thing. Like, why will I erase intellectual desires I don't even have? Or emotional desires I don't even have? Or physical desires I don't even have? The question doesn't arise.
The moderation here is not, because your example was that if you are given 30 days pills, you don't have all of them on day one. It seemed to me of as an example of doing too much and too little. But here, but the explanation is not too much or too little. It is doing it in the proportion of your personality.
Yeah, that example was that just because I have to do Jnana Yoga, I've determined I have to do Jnana Yoga. So now I can't overdo Jnana Yoga just because it's my personality or karma or bhakti. So you have to proportion it to your personality, right? And you can't say, okay, this month I will do Jnana Yoga. Whole month I will do Jnana Yoga. Next whole month I will do Bhakti Yoga. I can't do all these things. Or you can't say that, I have got 18 hours a day that I'm awake. I want to spend 10 hours in Jnana Yoga, 4 hours in Bhakti, 4 hours in Karma. But why should I do that? I'll keep awake for 24 hours. And I will increase my proportion accordingly. You can't do all these things because you are bound by the personality you're in. You're trying to remove something, not trying to get something. So you're bound by the limitations. I wouldn't say limitations, bound by what that personality is. If you're trying to erase, you're bound by what is the thing you're erasing. Okay. Ananyas chintayanto ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. You will get yogakshema.
Hello, madam.
Yes, go ahead.
It may look as foolish for me. I came to my thought, I was asking you, when incomplete sadhana during his life can be concluded in the next life, taking as vasana?
Yes, of course.
Huh?
Of course. Whatever you have earned, you have earned.
Yeah.
Whatever you still have to earn, you will get another chance.
Okay. I thought it would end with this life.
No, because if it ends with this life, then you don't need another life, right?
Okay.
But if it has not ended, that's why you're getting another life. Otherwise, why would you get another life?
Okay. Thank you.
And now that we have studied what is positive, any questions on positive religion? If nothing, let us study what is negative religion. Ganesh, you want to read the first paragraph?
Yes, ma'am, I'll do that. Most spiritual practitioners employ religion for merely worldly gains, use religious means to serve their personal ends with no thought of eradicating their desires, no attempt at spiritual revolution, no idea of attaining the ultimate state of enlightenment. People in every faith go to religion just to satisfy their material, emotional, or intellectual demands. Their approach is purely utilitarian, selfish and self-centered. All that is negative in character. So this speaks about how religion is used to serve personal ends, and it becomes selfish and self-centered. So this is what is happening in the world, and what Guru has mentioned is what is the three paths that is do to reduce desires. This actually increases the desires, the one of what we see today.
Yeah. So, what is negative religion? When you employ religion for anything other than gaining the self, what is that other thing? gaining something in the world. What else can it be, right? You have only two options. Either gain the self or gain something in the world. So you say, no, what are the things you'll gain in the world? That we will discuss. Yeah, Omkar.
So if religion is supposed to be eradicating desires, I mean, that's the basic purpose. Why is this entire system designed to, in fact, propagate desires? Because all our prayers, most of our prayers also say that Ichha Purti and all those yagnas that were done, Putra Kamakshi Yagna and whatever. These were all fueling desires, and one went to the Lord to get fulfillment of desires. Why would this system be so badly designed? I would say you're creating a system and encouraging something and saying you're doing it wrong. I mean, it's so counterintuitive.
It's not counterintuitive. Think of the task that the sages and saints have had. Right? Now you want to take people to the self. Will people come with you to the self?
No.
What happened? Now your video is
Sorry,
not on.
I forget to switch on the video. 1 second. Yes.
Now tell me, you want to take people to the self. Will people come with you?
No.
So now what will you have to do?
Bribe them with smaller things, maybe.
Suppose you want to tell a child, go to school. And will you tell the child, go to school, one day you will have a family, you will be able to meet the needs of that family, you will earn an income. Will you talk like that to the child?
But the issue is there is no natural progression from that bribe to the higher things. Most of us are stuck in that phase only, and we believe that's the reality.
No, go step by step, right? First portion is clear that they tell you, like as you tell a child, go study, I will buy you a cycle, I will buy you sweets, I will buy you a new t-shirt, whatever in the world they want, I will let you watch television. This is what you tell the child, right? Is he studying for that purpose? He's not studying for that purpose. The purpose of his study is something. Therefore, the Vedas start with saying, these are yagnas. Please do these yagnas. Different yagnas for different things. You want a kingdom, do this yagna. You want a child, do that yagna. You want rain, do this yagna. They tell you all this stuff. Now, please notice what is happening over here. For all these desires that you have got, I want rain, I want a kingdom, I want a child, I want a good husband, wife, whatever in the world you want. All these desires are multifarious. For all these desires, you're given one solution. What is the one solution given by the Vedas? For any religion for that matter. What are you supposed to do?
Prayer.
Okay. Go to God. God will fulfill all these desires. Right? Okay. So what is happening is all these multifarious desires are being channeled towards one thing, God, divinity, whatever in the world each one calls it. Okay, something bad happens, think of Allah. Something good happens, Allah's done doing your good. For across religions, this is a common thread everywhere. Pray to God, He will take care of you. Oh, but Father, my such a bad thing happened to me. So what will Father tell you? He will tell you that son, this is all the Lord's will. It's happening according to God's plan. So all your multifarious things are getting one thought. God, 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 God. For anything, good, bad, ugly, everything goes to God. Right? So this is the natural progression. Once you do this, then you start asking, at some point, questions will come to you. Yeah, but why? Why is this happening? If God loves me so much, why do bad things happen to me? What really is God's plan? Is there a plan? This goes to the next phase of the Vedas known as Aranyakas. After the Karma Kanda, which is the Brahmanas, when you come to the Aranyakas, which is Aranyaka means a wooded place, a garden, a forest. You start thinking, what is all this going on? And then you come finally to the fourth part, which is Vedanta or the Upanishads, which gives you the answer. So there is a very nice progression which has happened already in the case of everybody who's come to class. Everybody who's come to class went to temples and churches and mosques and said, give me this, give me this, give me this, give me that. Okay, from that they started thinking, what is all this going on here? And from that they have come to Vedanta. So it is provided. You are not seeing it and nobody is seeing it. You know why? Because the vast majority are still at the level of, they haven't created that one question, they haven't created as yet. So they are encouraged to go to temples and churches and mosques until that question arises.
This is a system which is pretty elitist in nature. It's not helping the masses at large, because that's where everybody's stuck. Only a very few happen to break free and ask these questions. So a very elitist system, I would say.
Why elitist? It's like saying that having post-graduation is very elitist.
It is.
It is means what? You have seem to be having a lot of conversations with Mahesh. Is anyone stopping you? Has anybody for any reason stopped anyone from coming to the class? Elitist means that there's a barrier which a person cannot cross. But who has stopped anybody from coming to the Vedanta class? There are thousands of Vedanta classes going on all over the world. If a person chooses not to go, you can't say it's elitist. And the masses are being taken care of. There are billions of temples and churches and mosques for anyone who wants to go.
That's where
criteria has its own place of worship, whether you want to worship a totem pole or you want to worship whatever, anything. Everybody has been taken care of. Now, it is a human's choice where you want to go. But wherever you go, they will do their job of creating an environment for you to start thinking. If you refuse to think, up now nobody can do anything about you. So elitist is just a word to throw around. I mean, where is any glass ceiling put on anyone? Okay. Mamita, the karma kanda details sacrifice. Yes. So we get out of tamas and understand sacrifice. Thought this was the first step towards enlightenment. Yes, it is sacrifice, but it is sacrifice for selfish, self-centered goals, not sacrifice for the Lord. In karma kanda. Yes, Deepraj?
I mean, like relating to Omkar's point, I think some people, like in a lot of traditions, like the higher is not even discussed. Like at least people who are entering, who come for selfish reasons, should at least be said that, okay, this is just a step. I think that would have.
Yes, exactly my point. Yes. We are stuck there, Janki ji.
No,
Like,
how can it be? Will you tell the child, I'm giving you a sweet and this is just a step? Come on, be practical. Would you ever do that? You would say, okay, you come here, and the fact is you are going to the temple or the church or the mosque. So there's an inherent divinity association with whatever you're doing. Inherent. Even if to get married, you have to go to the temple, church, or mosque. You have to have divinity involved in everything. Everybody does that. So the multifarious thoughts are multifarious. They're different. They're not being repeated. But then one thought is being repeated. Now, it depends on how much repetition you're going to require by the time you come to strengthening that. Prakash's iPhone. Will Vedantin not go to temple then? A Vedantin may or may not go to the temple. That's irrelevant. But the reason they go to the temple, if they go, will definitely be different. Everything a Vedantin will do is to realize the self. If according to them that it will help the process, they will go. Okay. So that's it for today. Hari Om.
Thank you, Jan.